everything to other people. And by her life, we can see how God is faithful to us. Kaya po sabi po sa mga utmost for Isaiah, sabi, a Christian is someone who trusts in the knowledge and the wisdom of God, not in his own abilities. Not in our own abilities. Kaya in Proverbs 16 verse 9, the mind of a man plans his way, but the Lord directs his step. So it is God's ways. God's will, God's ways. Kaya po yung example po natin dito, tinan niyo po, even sa us, sabi po ganyan, the Spirit is continually leading them. Tinan mo, the Holy Spirit speak the word in Asia. So ito po yung mga apostles during those time, they totally, constantly listen to the Spirit of God, asking God its ways. Kaya po sa Isaiah 55:8-9, ito po, sabi po, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So most of us have a desperate desire to understand, but in so many areas, we must acknowledge that we cannot understand. Do you agree? Hindi po talaga natin maunawaan. Bakit? Hindi natin kapareho kaisipan ng Diyos eh. Amen po? Pasan lang po natin. Kaya dito po makikita ninyo, sabi po ganyan sa Acts 16 verse 11 to 12. So putting out, ito po sila Apostol Pablo, when they seeking out what God's will for their lives is, they are constantly, tinan niyo po ito, following God's way. Ang nangyari po, the Spirit hindered them to go to Asia. Ano po nangyari sa kanila? They were directed to go to Macedonia. Ano po nangyari doon? When God directed them, the gospel spread to Europe. Kasi po ito po talaga panawagan natin bilang po mga mananampalataya. In Matthew 28 verse 18 to 20, and Jesus came and spoke to them saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Now, God's ways are not our ways. Amen po? But we have to do it God's way. Kasi kung hindi po, mahihirapan po tayo. At ito po yung panawagan sa atin, wherever we are, we make disciples of all the nations. And in Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, ito pong sabi, ano po daw pong sabi sa atin? Ang utos ng Diyos, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Ano po sabi po susunod? And do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Sa totoo lamang po, kung binigay mo na ang buhay mo kay Kristo Jesus, then His will for your life is to obey Him and follow Him and to trust Him. Kaya po sabi po ni O.S. Guinness, you have been called to someone and not to something or to somewhere. Now, yung pagdadala po sa atin ng Diyos sa kapamaraanan ng Diyos, kadalasan hindi natin gusto. Do you agree? Kadalasan hindi natin gusto. We should have it our own way, but God says, you just trust me. Sabi po ulit sa my utmost for Isaiah, God puts His saints where they will glorify Him, and we are no judges at all where that is. Hindi po natin pwedeng piliin yun. So in order for us to occupy ourselves, fully put our trust in the will of God and His ways. Alam niyo po ito, Psalm 23? Saan niyo po naririnig ito? O may patay? But I'm telling you, hindi po yan para sa patay, para po sa atin yan. Tingnan po sabi ng Panginoon, trust in His word. The Lord is my shepherd. That's relationship. I shall not want. That's supply. He made me lie down in green pastures. That's rest. He leaded me beside the still waters. That's refreshment. He restored my soul. That's healing. He leaded me in the paths of righteousness. That's guidance. For His name's sake, that's purpose. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, That's testing. I will fear no evil. That's persecution. For thou art with me. That's faithfulness. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. That's discipline. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. That's hope. Thou anointest my head with oil. That's consecration. My cup runneth over. Wow, that's abundance. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. That's blessing. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord. That's security. Kailan daw? Hanggang kailan? Forever. That's eternity. If God is your shepherd and His will for us is to glorify Him in our lives, then commit our lives to Him and our ways to Him. Kaya nga po, when you know God intimately, there is serenity. Tama po ba? There is serenity. You know His will, peace comes into your life, God gives you rest, that there is stability. There is sufficiency. And you learn no matter how bad the problem, not only is God necessary, God is enough. Niniwala po ba kayo that God is enough? Christ died for us not because we are worthy, but because we are unworthy. And there was no other way for us to be made worthy. Tingnan niyo po, no other way for us to be made worthy. Kasi ang kaharap po ni Kristo yung cross eh. Naalala niyo po? Sabi niya sa Luke, saying, Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Kasi kung titignan mo si Christ, if He would save us, pwede naman, no? But God's ways is for Him to die on the cross. Kaya what a better example of this is si Jesus Christ. Amen po. God's will is for Him to save us from our sin. And God's way is for Him to suffer on the cross. Kaya po sabi po ni R.C. Sproul, the more we understand God's sovereignty, the more our prayers will be filled with thanksgiving. So you want to detoxify yourself with the help of the Spirit? Detoxify ourselves from ourselves. Kasi sabi po sa Galatians 2:20, I have been crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life I live now in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave Himself up for me. In 2 Corinthians 4:5-6, for what we proclaim is not ourselves. We are already died. We are already dead. It is Jesus Christ. In John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Amen po. You want your life to be detoxed? Pursue or live in the Spirit, pursuing God's will, and rest in God's will. Pursuing it God's way, not our ways, so that you will find peace and rest in your lives. Amen po? Let's bow our heads. Father God, we thank you, O Lord, Panginoon, sa oras na ito. Tunay nga po, aming Ama, hindi po namin kakayanin mag-isa ang mabuhay sa mundong ito. Ngunit, Panginoon, salamat po, aming Ama, that you did not only save us through your Son, Jesus Christ, but you have lent us your word, O Lord, so that we may know your will in our lives, O God. And Father, I pray, O Lord, for each and every one of us, not only that may we understand your will, but also, O God, Panginoon, patuloy po manahan sa inyo pong kapamaraanan, Panginoon, O Diyos. Because it is only by your way, O Lord, that we should follow, O God, Panginoon. Salamat po, aming Ama, sa oras na ito. And for us, O Lord, aming Ama, nakarinig ng iyong salita, my prayer, O Lord, Panginoon, is that they will constantly seek your will, O God, according to your ways. Father, we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. Magandang tanghali po sa inyo pong lahat.